Have you ever felt like your mind is working against you, like every thought is pulling you further from the life you want? That heaviness, that constant loop of doubt, worry, and fear. What if I told you it is not reality controlling you, but your own mind left unchecked? Most people live this way, trapped by thoughts they never question, controlled by habits that quietly steal their potential. You might think life's challenges are external, that circumstances decide your path, but the truth is far more powerful. Every failure, every frustration, every moment of hesitation begins in the mind. Your mind is the battlefield where your victories are won or lost. And here is the reward. When you learn to control your mind, to shape it, to guide it, you unlock a power no obstacle can touch. You can transform fear into clarity, doubt into action, confusion into precision. The life that once seemed distant, impossible, and out of reach suddenly becomes tangible because it starts here, inside your own thoughts. Imagine waking up each day with the ability to command your attention, to direct your energy, to focus on what truly matters. Imagine the freedom that comes from knowing you are not at the mercy of random thoughts, that you are the one who decides which ideas, which emotions, which impulses shape your reality. This is not abstract philosophy. It is science, it is practice, it is choice. Your brain is not a passive organ. It is a living instrument that responds to repetition, attention, and discipline. The habits of thought that have held you back are simply patterns, and every pattern can be reshaped. Each time you notice a destructive thought, each time you pause before reacting, you strengthen new pathways that serve you, that reinforce clarity, courage, and resilience. The first step is simple but not easy: recognition. Acknowledge the power of your mind, acknowledge that it can betray you if left untended, and acknowledge that you can train it to serve you instead. This is the beginning of mastery, and it is worth every effort because the reward is profound. The reward is a life no longer dictated by fear, no longer limited by doubt, no longer trapped in confusion. You begin to see opportunities where others see obstacles, solutions where others see dead ends, strength where others see weakness. Every thought you control multiplies your ability to act, to create, to succeed. This is the promise of mind control, the chance to live with intentionality, with power, with focus. Your mind can be the heaviest chain you carry, or it can be the engine that propels you toward every goal you dare to pursue. And that choice, right now, in this very moment, is in your hands. You have the ability to reclaim control, to train your mind to work for you instead of against you, to step into the life that has always been waiting beyond the chaos of uncontrolled thought. Every second you spend mastering this skill compounds, shaping a future that aligns perfectly with your vision. This is why you must stay focused, because what you learn here will not just inspire, it will transform the way you think, the way you act, and ultimately the life you live. Have you ever noticed how easily your mind drifts, how it jumps from worry to regret, from fear to distraction, without asking for your permission? Most people believe their thoughts are reality, that they have no control over the chaos inside their heads, but that is not true. Every moment you spend observing your mind, every time you pause long enough to notice a thought before it controls you, you claim power that was always yours. Awareness is the first weapon, the invisible edge that separates those who react from those who act. It is simple, yet profound. To notice a thought without judgment is to step outside of it, to create a space where choice exists. That space is freedom. When you become aware of your patterns, you see clearly how fear has guided your decisions, how doubt has held you back, how anxiety has stolen your focus. Awareness turns these patterns from invisible chains into visible tools, tools you can manipulate, shape, and redirect. This is the moment where control begins, where you stop being a passive passenger in your own life and start steering with intention. Every thought you recognize becomes a signal, a chance to choose. You can let it dominate you, or you can let it serve you. The power of awareness lies not in eliminating thoughts, but in understanding them, in seeing their origin, their purpose, and their effect. It is in this understanding that the mind becomes manageable, predictable, and reliable. The moment you realize your emotions, your impulses, your inner dialogue are responses, not dictates, everything changes. You gain the ability to respond deliberately, to redirect energy toward growth rather than reaction. Neuroscience confirms that this practice strengthens the pathways in your brain that support focus, calm, and resilience, while weakening the ones that fuel fear, panic, and indecision. This means every second you spend observing your thoughts is an investment in your future strength, your clarity, and your effectiveness. Awareness is not a fleeting skill. It is a discipline that compounds over time. Each moment of attention, each pause to notice a pattern, builds momentum toward mastery. The mind that once ran wild becomes a disciplined engine, calibrated for precision, efficiency, and progress. Your reactions no longer control your outcomes, your choices do. Awareness allows you to see the difference between impulse and intention, between reaction and action, between surrender and mastery. It is the bridge that connects desire with reality, fear with courage, confusion with clarity. When you practice awareness consistently, you stop being a victim of your thoughts. You start to shape them, direct them, and use them to fuel your growth. Your mind ceases to be a battlefield where chaos reigns and becomes the most powerful tool in your life, an instrument capable of building the future you have always imagined. Awareness is not optional. It is the foundation on which control, clarity, and unstoppable momentum are built. Every thought you observe strengthens that foundation, and every moment you fail to notice is an opportunity lost. Your mind is waiting for you to claim it, and the moment you do, nothing can stand in your way. Every thought you hold shapes the life you live, whether you realize it or not. Your mind is not a neutral space. It is an engine constantly producing outcomes based on the patterns you feed it. When your thoughts are scattered, fearful, or reactive, your life mirrors that chaos. When your thoughts are deliberate, disciplined, and focused, your reality aligns with clarity, opportunity, and growth. Understanding this is more than insight. It is a revelation. The life you dream of, the success you crave, the freedom you desire, all begin in the space between your ears. Your mind does not distinguish between what is real and what is imagined. When you visualize, plan, and focus on possibilities, your brain activates the same pathways it would if you were taking action. This is why controlling your thoughts is not a luxury, it is essential. Every negative thought you entertain weakens your focus, drains your energy, and slows your progress. Every constructive thought you cultivate strengthens your resilience, sharpens your decision-making, and drives you forward. The quality of your life is a direct reflection of the quality of your mind. This is the power you hold. You are not subject to circumstances. You are subject to the direction of your attention. Every moment you choose clarity over chaos, courage over fear, focus over distraction, you are rewiring your brain to serve you rather than control you. Controlling your mind is not about suppressing reality or denying challenges. It is about choosing which mental patterns deserve your energy and which ones must be released. Thoughts that no longer serve you are obstacles, invisible chains that hold back potential, delay action, and create unnecessary suffering. Learning to recognize them, disengage from them, and redirect your attention is a skill that transforms everything. Each time you replace a limiting thought with a constructive one, you build momentum. Each moment of mental discipline compounds, strengthening the pathways that lead to confidence, clarity, and achievement. You begin to see life differently. Challenges that once seemed insurmountable become manageable. Obstacles that paralyzed you now become opportunities to act with intelligence and precision. Control over your mind creates an internal environment where creativity thrives, decisions are sharper, and resilience becomes automatic. The thoughts you feed dictate your actions dictate your results, and your results reinforce your mindset. This cycle, when mastered, makes success inevitable. Your mind is not a passive observer of life, it is the architect of your destiny. Every insight, every choice, every act of focus strengthens the foundation of your future. The moment you accept that your thoughts shape reality, you step into a new level of responsibility, and with it, an extraordinary level of power. You no longer wait for opportunity, you create it. You no longer react to circumstance, you direct it. The ability to control your mind transforms the impossible into the achievable, the distant into the attainable, and the ordinary into the extraordinary. Your mind is the tool, the fuel, and the engine, and when it is mastered, Nothing can stop you. Your emotions are the fuel of your mind, the energy that drives every thought, decision, and action. Left uncontrolled, they become a wildfire consuming clarity, focus, and strength. Most people believe emotions happen to them, that they are victims of feelings they cannot manage. That is not true. Every emotion you experience is a response, a signal, a message. Fear alerts you to risk. Anger highlights injustice. Sadness marks loss. But none of these signals need to control you. The power lies in how you respond. Emotional mastery begins with recognition. Notice what you feel without judgment, without blaming yourself. Observe the surge of fear, the tension of frustration, the pull of doubt, and understand that each is temporary, each is manageable, each can be redirected. When you gain control over your emotions, your mind begins to operate with precision. Fear no longer paralyzes you. Anger no longer distracts you. Anxiety no longer dictates your actions. Your thoughts become sharper, your focus becomes deeper, and your ability to act with courage grows exponentially. This is not a state of denial. Emotional mastery is not about avoiding pain or suppressing reality. It is about channeling energy, about converting intense feeling into deliberate action. Science confirms that emotional regulation rewires the brain. Neural pathways supporting calm, focus, and resilience strengthen, while pathways that amplify chaos, distraction, and impulsivity weaken. Every moment you practice control, every conscious decision to redirect your emotional energy builds mental muscle. You are training the most powerful instrument in your life, your mind. The stronger your emotional control, the more unstoppable you become. Challenges that once triggered panic now become opportunities for decisive action. Obstacles that once seemed insurmountable now provide fuel for ingenuity and strength. Emotional mastery transforms instability into clarity, hesitation into action, and weakness into power. It multiplies every other skill you possess, every other habit you are building, and every other goal you are pursuing. Your mind becomes a disciplined engine, your emotions become precise fuel, and your actions gain unstoppable momentum. The invisible chains of fear, regret, and distraction begin to fall away. Each day, each moment, each thought becomes an opportunity to refine this control, to strengthen your inner authority, and to expand your capacity for growth. You begin to understand that your mind and emotions are not separate. They are partners. Mastering one without the other creates imbalance, but mastering both unlocks unstoppable potential. You gain clarity in chaos, courage in uncertainty, and resilience in adversity. Emotional mastery is not optional. It is the cornerstone of mind control. Every decision you make, every action you take, every result you achieve is amplified when emotion serves thought rather than undermines it. The life you envision, the freedom you seek, the strength you crave, all become attainable when your mind and emotions work together as one disciplined force. This is the essence of power, the true reward of controlling your mind, and the source of every transformation you desire. Discipline of thought is the bridge between desire and reality. Your mind produces hundreds of thoughts every minute, yet only a fraction of them serve your purpose. Strengthen your focus, or build the life you want. Every uncontrolled thought is a missed opportunity, a distraction, a small surrender to chaos, but the power to change that exists entirely within you. Discipline begins with intention. It begins with the decision to notice, evaluate, and redirect your thinking. Each thought that arises is a chance to practice control, to strengthen the pathways that support clarity, courage, and decisive action. You are not at the mercy of mental noise. You are the operator, the engineer, the one who decides which thoughts are allowed to grow and which are discarded. The brain thrives on repetition. Every time you practice disciplined thinking, you reinforce the circuits that favor focus over distraction, calm over panic, and action over hesitation. This is how habits are built, how patterns shift, and how the mind becomes a tool rather than a cage. Discipline does not feel easy, and it does not happen overnight. but it compounds. Each conscious choice strengthens your mental resilience. Each redirected thought builds momentum, and each victory over mental chaos reinforces the belief that you are capable, in control, and unstoppable. Without discipline, even the most brilliant ideas, the most ambitious goals, and the most determined intentions dissolve in the storm of untrained thought. With it, your mind becomes an engine, precise, relentless, and powerful. You begin to notice how much of life is wasted reacting to impulses, following distraction, or surrendering to fear. Every small moment of attention you reclaim, every thought you refine, accumulates into profound power. Control over your mind is not abstract, it is the foundation of every achievement. It shapes your actions, influences your decisions, and determines the trajectory of your life. Discipline also teaches patience. The mind wants immediate gratification, quick solutions, and easy rewards, but true mastery requires persistence. Each time you pause before reacting, each time you redirect a negative or unproductive thought, you train your mind to endure, to persist, and to act with intention. You start to notice the difference in your results. Challenges that once overwhelmed you now feel manageable. Distractions that once derailed you now lose their grip. Your ability to act decisively strengthens with every conscious moment. Discipline transforms mental chaos into a controlled current, powerful enough to carry you toward your highest goals. The mind that is disciplined becomes a relentless force, a guiding engine that directs energy with precision, purpose, and unstoppable momentum. The thoughts you allow, the focus you cultivate, and the control you maintain become the tools with which you construct your future. This is the essence of mental power, the life you desire, the impact you wish to make, and the freedom you seek all begin with the discipline to command your mind. When thought is disciplined, when focus is unwavering, and when intention governs action, nothing can stand in your way. Focus is the most powerful weapon you possess, yet it is one of the most neglected. Every moment your attention drifts, every thought left unchecked, every distraction indulged weakens your ability to act with purpose. Your mind is capable of incredible feats, but only when it is concentrated, directed, and unwavering. Focus is not merely paying attention. It is the deliberate allocation of your mental energy toward what matters most, toward actions that produce results, toward thoughts that strengthen rather than weaken. The human brain craves stimulation, novelty, and distraction, but mastery requires resistance. It requires the courage to say no to the trivial, the urgent, and the meaningless, so you can say yes to the significant, the transformative, and the essential. Every distraction avoided, every scattered thought realigned reinforces a new pattern, one of precision, clarity, and unstoppable momentum. Focus is a discipline, and like any discipline, it must be trained daily. Each time you reclaim your attention, each time you redirect your mind to a deliberate thought, you strengthen your capacity to achieve, to endure, and to excel. Lack of focus is the silent thief of potential. It allows chaos to seep in, dilutes energy, and sabotages action. Focus, on the other hand, magnifies effort, accelerates results, and multiplies the power of every thought, decision, and action. When you control your attention, you control your outcomes. Focus transforms mental effort into visible results. It allows you to see clearly, think deeply, and act decisively. It turns overwhelming tasks into manageable steps and turns dreams into achievable plans. Science shows that sustained attention strengthens the prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for decision-making, discipline, and self-control. Each moment you practice focus, you are physically reshaping your brain to favor clarity over confusion, purpose over distraction, and strength over weakness. Focus is the link between thought and action, between intention and reality, between potential and achievement. Without it, even the most disciplined mind, even the most emotionally controlled individual, drifts aimlessly. With it, the impossible becomes possible, the distant becomes attainable, and the overwhelming becomes manageable. Focus is not about perfection, it is about direction. It is about choosing what to allow into your mind and what to let go. It is about harnessing mental energy with precision and using it to create measurable impact. Every second you spend training focus is a second invested in your future, in your power, and in the life you are building. The mind that masters attention becomes unstoppable, capable of extraordinary clarity, relentless progress, and unwavering action. The power to control your mind is meaningless without focus, because focus channels energy into results, transforms potential into reality, and turns intention into achievement. Master your focus, and you will find that the life you imagined is not only possible, it is inevitable. Your beliefs are the foundation of everything your mind creates. Every thought, every emotion, every action is filtered through the lens of what you accept as true. Limiting beliefs act like invisible chains, quietly constraining your potential, dictating what you think is possible, and shaping the results you achieve. Most people never question these beliefs. They accept them as fact, allowing fear, doubt, and insecurity to dictate the direction of their lives. But your beliefs are not fixed. They are patterns formed by repetition, habit, and perception, and every pattern can be reshaped. To control your mind fully, you must examine the beliefs that guide it. Which beliefs empower you? Which beliefs hold you back? Awareness alone is not enough. You must consciously choose the beliefs that serve your growth, your clarity, and your courage. Every time you reinforce a constructive belief, you strengthen the pathways in your brain that support focus, resilience, and decisive action. Every time you challenge a limiting belief, you weaken the patterns that produce fear, hesitation, and self-sabotage. The mind is a reflection of what it believes. If you believe you are incapable, the world will reflect that incapacity. If you believe you are resilient, capable, and unstoppable, the world will align to prove that belief true. Is the power of perception and the responsibility you hold. You are the gatekeeper of your beliefs. You decide which thoughts deserve energy, which assumptions shape your decisions, and which convictions become the framework for action. Reshaping beliefs requires courage. It requires the willingness to confront ideas you have held for years, ideas that have quietly limited your potential. It demands persistence because old beliefs resist change, and the mind prefers comfort over growth. Yet the reward is profound. When you replace doubt with certainty, fear with possibility, and limitation with opportunity, your entire mental landscape shifts. Your thoughts become sharper, your decisions become clearer, and your actions become deliberate. Belief transforms potential into reality because it guides not only your thinking, but also your energy, focus, and emotional response. Every challenge you face is filtered through your beliefs. Weak beliefs magnify obstacles. Strong beliefs reveal solutions. Limiting beliefs produce hesitation. Empowering beliefs produce unstoppable momentum. Controlling your mind requires mastery over what you accept as true. Your beliefs are the engine behind your thoughts, the fuel behind your focus, and the lens through which you perceive opportunity. Change your beliefs, and you change the trajectory of your life. This is not wishful thinking. It is the deliberate construction of mental architecture. You are capable of rewriting the rules your mind has followed, of choosing the beliefs that strengthen, clarify, and propel you forward. When your beliefs serve you, your mind becomes an ally, a powerful instrument capable of transforming every thought into purposeful action, every doubt into courage, and every potential into achievement. Master your beliefs, and you master the very foundation of your mind's power. Your focus, discipline, emotional control, and beliefs all converge in the choices you make every day. Every decision, every action, every response is a reflection of how well you command your mind. The mind that is mastered transforms hesitation into decisive action, doubt into clarity, and fear into courage. Most people drift through life reacting to circumstances, to external events, to fleeting impulses. They surrender power without realizing it, allowing every thought, every emotion, every distraction to dictate their direction. You cannot afford that. The quality of your life depends entirely on the quality of your decisions, and the quality of your decisions depends entirely on the mastery of your mind. Choice is the ultimate expression of control. It is the moment where thought, emotion, and focus intersect to produce action. Every time you choose deliberately, you reinforce the patterns of a disciplined mind. Every time you act intentionally rather than react impulsively, you solidify control, clarity, and momentum. Your mind is an instrument, and choice is the mechanism by which it is tuned and directed. Without deliberate choice, the mind remains passive, vulnerable, and fragmented. With deliberate choice, it becomes precise, powerful, and unstoppable. The difference between those who achieve extraordinary results and those who drift through mediocrity is not circumstance. It is the ability to choose consciously, to act with intention, to direct thought and energy toward what truly matters. Every decision is a test of control, every moment a chance to strengthen mastery. When you consistently choose actions that align with your goals, that reinforce your clarity, that amplify your focus, you are not simply reacting to life, you are shaping it. Each choice compounds, building momentum that grows stronger with every intentional act. The smallest decisions, when made consciously, accumulate into profound outcomes. Mastery of choice also transforms resilience. When obstacles arise, when fear appears, when doubt whispers, the mind trained in deliberate decision-making does not freeze or panic. It evaluates, recalibrates, and responds with precision. Challenges become opportunities, setbacks become lessons, and resistance becomes fuel for growth. Control over choice multiplies every other form of mental mastery. Discipline becomes effortless, focus becomes unshakable, and emotional energy becomes a reliable source of power rather than chaos. Your future is a reflection of the choices you make in this moment. Each decision is an investment, each deliberate action a step toward the life you envision. The mind that is trained to choose wisely is the mind that commands reality rather than reacts to it. You hold the power to shape your trajectory, to harness energy, to convert potential into results. This is the ultimate reward of controlling your mind, the ability to act, to decide, and to create with purpose. Every decision, every action, every moment of conscious choice is a declaration of mastery. You are not a passenger, you are the operator, the architect, and the force that determines the path your life takes. Your mind is the ultimate architect of your reality, and how you train it determines the life you build. Every thought you entertain, every emotion you allow, every choice you make lays the foundation for your future. Control over your mind is not an abstract skill. It is the source of every achievement, every breakthrough, every success you will ever experience. Most people give their minds away without even noticing. They react impulsively, follow distractions, and let fear dictate their actions. They wait for clarity, hope for motivation, and expect circumstances to create opportunity. You cannot wait. The power to shape your life exists entirely within your mind, and the moment you claim it, everything changes. When your mind is controlled, your actions become deliberate, your decisions become precise, and your energy becomes focused. You no longer stumble through life reacting to external forces. You move with intention, you act with purpose, and you create results that reflect the strength of your internal command. Control over your mind transforms obstacles into opportunities, resistance into growth, and uncertainty into confidence. Every time you notice a thought, redirect a distraction, calm a surge of emotion, or reinforce a constructive belief, you are strengthening the mental structures that produce clarity, resilience, and unstoppable momentum. The mind that is disciplined, focused, and emotionally regulated does not wait for the perfect moment. It makes every moment perfect for action. Control allows you to harness your attention, to invest it where it matters, and to channel your energy toward outcomes that matter. It turns overwhelm into clarity, indecision into confidence, and fear into action. Nothing external can match the power of a mind fully in command of itself. Every challenge you face, every setback you encounter, every moment of doubt can either weaken you or strengthen you. When your mind is under your control, you decide which it will be. You stop reacting to chaos and start directing it. You stop being pulled by circumstance and start guiding your life with precision. Mastery of your mind is the ultimate advantage. It multiplies focus, amplifies discipline, strengthens emotional regulation, and ensures that every choice you make compounds toward success. The freedom, confidence, and clarity that come from mental mastery are unmatched. You no longer fear uncertainty because your mind is a tool that navigates it with skill. You no longer feel powerless because control is internal, independent of external events. You no longer chase fleeting motivation because your internal command generates unstoppable momentum. Controlling your mind is the difference between drifting through life and designing it, between wishing for outcomes and creating them, between weakness and strength, fear and courage, limitation and possibility. The life you desire, the impact you want, and the success you seek all begin in the mind you control today. Every thought, every choice, every moment of discipline compounds into the reality you live. Claim that control. Own it, train it, strengthen it. When your mind is mastered, nothing can stand in your way.